You better not duck me, Thun. You better not. I'm coming. Do not duck me, Thun. Keith one-time Thurman versus the man from down under, Crikey. And that's another, how about another shrimp on a bobby? Tszyu. This March. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. PBC, I made a video about it. They got that schedule. I told you that schedule need to come out. And it looks like we getting close to getting some announcements. Shout out to my dude, Alan Dawson. He was one of the first to hit me to PBC's schedule coming out. Made a video about it. Check that on the channel. Now it looks like You Better Not Duck Me, Thun. You Better Not, I'm Coming versus Tszyu. You see, ESPN is now reporting it. Tszyu finalized for March 30th, a bout in Las Vegas. Rising star Tszyu will defend his junior middleweight title versus Keith, You Better Not Duck Me, Thun Thurman. March 30th in Las Vegas, sources tell ESPN. Tszyu versus Thurman will headline PBC's first pay-per-view as part of a new deal with Amazon Prime Video. Thurman moves up to 154 for his first fight in 25 months. Wow. Wow. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, I will give you guys this tidbit as well. I can't give full credit to ESPN because the first person that I seen that released it was Jose Quintero, and then the second is Fight Hype, not ESPN. And I noticed it, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But you guys see it on the screen. Jose Quintero is a reporter. Let me see if I hover over. It says mild-mannered reporter for the VV Daily Press DPS or DP Sports, right? He was the very first person that I seen that dropped this. It says a source tells me that Keith Thurman is returning to the ring against Tszyu, right? And if you look at the timestamp, see, you guys, I'm telling you, boxing is a crooked game. 6:50 p.m. I haven't seen anyone who made mention of this prior to that publicly. And then Fight Hype responded at 7:06 p.m. And they gave a little bit more detail saying March 30th at the MGM. And put the OK. And it says Tszyu versus Thurman. So ESPN for sure copied because I just showed you the time frames. And this wasn't until 8:27. And they put breaking news all over it. And one thing, and I got a quick rant, and then I'll talk more about the fight. But I got to keep it real with y'all. Boxing, this is what I do. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. But I understand as a full-time content creator, and this has been the case for many, many years now, it is imperative that we as boxing fans support the real. And one thing that I've always prided myself on, because I'm a real person, like boxing's cool, yes. But beyond boxing, I'm a real man. I'm a real man outside of the world, you know, regardless of boxing. Fights, you know, the fights and schedule and all that stuff is cool. But at the end of the day, we got to support the real. And I have always seen this. I do a lot of things people copy. And I always strive to give people the full recognition. Like if you look, I source out the links. I let you know where I got the information. There's a lot of people on YouTube, they'll rip somebody's information and say, oh, this is the news, blah, 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 blah. But they won't tell you where they got the information from. And I always thought that was foul. So ESPN, the reason why I gotta I gotta put this on Front Street is because ESPN does this a lot, where I literally see people break the news, like Dan Rayfield or whoever, and they'll break the news and say, woom, woom, wompty, this, and that. And then 10, 20, 30 minutes later, an hour later, and ESPN will be like, sources tell ESPN. I'm like, huh? Sources say they tell ESPN, or did you just get the information from somewhere else? Now that's really, listen, I got to rant because that's really one of my pet peeves because I don't do people like that. Like if Fight Hype got the drop on it and they posted something with the Quintero dude, they said something, woo, 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 I give the person their credit. And I've always been like that, subscribe to the channel, and y'all know that. So, saying rising star, blah, 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 and sources tell, it was all over X, Twitter, before ESPN even said anything. So it's possible that they reached out to a source or a source told them late or whatever, but they weren't the first people that I seen reported. So I gotta let the record show. ESPN said Tim Tszyu, who wisely stayed active rather than wait around for Jermell Charlo last year, is coming off a breakthrough campaign and now lands a big name in what shapes up as his toughest test yet. Tszyu gets the Las Vegas fight that he is looking for. Now, as far as the fight, salute to the brother Tim Tszyu. I ain't got nothing negative to say about him and his daddy. They've done a lot for boxing, the tandem, the two of them. I am really enjoying the journey of Tim Tszyu and what I've been seeing from Tim Tszyu thus far. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Because Tim Tszyu, he had one moment that, listen, it was that one moment and it was looking shaky versus my man, Terrell Goucher. Shout out to whoever just subscribed to the channel. They had that shaky moment with Terrell Goucher, right? And he got dropped in the first round, first fight in America. Maybe he had some jitters, whatever the case was. But that could have been disastrous, right? Definitely could have been disastrous. He picked himself up, got his head back in the game, and then he went on to win that fight. And I think he even hurt Terrell Goucher later in that fight. So respect. He showed me a little bit of something. He dealt with some adversity. See, some people get mad and or try to act too tough, like, oh, I don't never get hurt. Ain't nobody ever hurt me before. But I don't like that. I don't want no fighter that never been hurt, because getting hurt, sometimes it comes with the territory. It's what you do when you get hurt. That's what's going to make or break you in your career. But Tim Tszyu, he battled the Terrell Goucher, an Olympian, tough guy, just moved up to 160. He battled that, and then he bounced back nicely, won that fight. But then he wanted to fight Jermell Charlo, and I don't even blame Jermell Charlo. I know a lot of people, they're going to say, oh, Jermell ducked and stuff. He didn't duck to fight someone at a higher weight, 14 pounds up, who is more accomplished than Tim Tszyu, like Canelo. That's not a duck. There's a lot of these words that a lot of you guys use, and you use them routinely, and it sounds stupid. It sounds stupid. I don't think that Jermell Charlo at all ducked Tim Tszyu, but he got the call to fight baby. You want baby? I know that. Canelo Alvarez. What fighter wouldn't take, if you're in or around his division, what fighter wouldn't take the Canelo opportunity if you are in the Canelo sweepstakes? Even Tim Tszyu called out Canelo. So he has to understand. I know he said his words to Jermell, but you got to be able to understand that. There's no other way. So I don't consider that a duck, but I like what Tim Tszyu did. He stayed active, stayed busy. He didn't take easy fights. Like, he could have just been in Australia fighting Glass Joe, because it looked like he brings out a pretty good audience. Australia, they ain't really had much since Anthony Mundine and Jeff Horn. So, and he's the son of a legend. So all in all, I really think that he chose to stay active, and that was to his benefit. And again, he took fights pretty much tougher than he needed to. Tony Harrison, former champion, who has a win over Jermell Charlo, albeit it was somewhat controversial, things like that. And he knocked out Carlos Ocampo, guy who bigger than him, easy work. knocked him out in one round, things like that. And then he fought Brian Mendoza off of Mendoza's career best win. Mendoza's career best win was Sebastian Fundora, who's 6'6", 6'7". So really enjoying the journey of Tim Tszyu. I really respect Tim Tszyu and his father. And, all in all, I like this fight. I like this fight a lot. Keith Thurman, kind of a do or die moment for Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman's going to have to get it together and, make it do what it do. Keith Thurman, this is like a make or break. See, if Keith Thurman's able to win this fight, then it puts him right back in the picture. It puts him right back in the picture of big fights, right? Because he's been absent 24 months. That's, 2 years and a month, right? So it's really kind of a do or die. I don't know exactly what Keith Thurman has been waiting for. Maybe he's waiting for the perfect fight, and now he feels he got it. He only has one loss to, I believe, Manny Pacquiao, right? He only has that one loss, and now he's fighting a dangerous guy at a higher weight. Now, the funny thing is, Keith Thurman, some of you guys don't know this, but he already fought pretty much at this weight class. He fought at a catch weight versus Carlos Quintana many years ago, kind of when he was on his way up, and he fought him at like 152, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So Keith Thurman, he doesn't have a lot of experience at this weight class, but we know his walk around weight. He does do a cut. He feels he can move up, and this is the right fight. It's just a big opportunity for Keith Thurman. If he loses, and that's definitely a possibility because Tim Tszyu, he's younger and he's looking to keep it in the family and make a lot of noise because his dad made some noise in the boxing game. So, I like this. I think this is a real good fight, and it should be a doozy. And I'm happy. A lot of people thought Gervonta Davis was going to be the very first PBC fight on March 30th, but now it's looking like Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu. Now, I know some people are going to hate on this fight and say, oh, why is he fighting Keith Thurman and this, that? Keith Thurman, he's a respected guy. He's a tough out. Tim Tszyu, he couldn't get Charlo. I guess they tried to fight Erickson Lubin. Whatever happened, I talked about that in previous videos. Whatever happened with that, it didn't work. So he needs someone to fight. Keith Thurman needs someone to fight. Let's get it cracking. Let's get this year started, because without PBC, I'm telling you, it's pretty abysmal. It's slim picking so far. Like, nobody's schedule has absolutely impressed me. You got a couple fights that I guess people kind of want to see, but outside of that, we need PBC to drop this schedule because it's slim pickings. So I like this fight for Thurman. Dangerous fight for Thurman. Dangerous fight for Tszyu. Tszyu keeps testing himself. You got really no choice but to respect that. He's testing himself, even though Keith Thurman's moving up. This could be a very good fight. Keith Thurman, athletic, can box, doesn't really like it to the body. Pause. Tim Tszyu, we don't know everything about him. He's kind of new-ish on the scene, so we don't know everything about either guy. We know more about Keith Thurman, but the thing is, he's been inactive. So we don't really know where Keith Thurman is. He domesticated? Is he civilized? Can he take a punch anymore? You've been out the ring for a while. Andre Ward, when he had legal problems, or Floyd Mayweather, those are the only two guys in the last decade or so that I trust to disappear for 2 years and look exactly the same. So Tim Tszyu, he's probably going to be the favorite. Plus, we know he's strong at this division. We don't really know exactly how Thurman will take a punch after pretty much 2 years and a month out and in this new weight class because he doesn't have as much experience. So very fun fight. Can't wait to see the undercard. I also like Tim Tszyu not just camping out. Because you look at Naoya Inoue and they got him camping out in Japan. Tim Tszyu could, continue to do the same thing and just keep fighting in Australia, try to lure guys, but they're trying to spread the legacy, and that's how you brand. And PBC, there's no one doing it like PBC when it comes to that. That's how you brand a fighter. You brand them with taking the time to give them exposure in multiple regions. You don't just keep it locked like Terrence Crawford from Omaha, like Top Rank. We just gonna put all his fights in Omaha till the end of time. Change these broken wings until the end of time. I don't know why that made me think of that, but shout out to Pac and RL. Until the end of time. Besides rapping, only thing I did good was scrap it until the end of time. So yeah, I like them moving Tim Tszyu kind of out of his comfort zone, trying to build him outside of his immediate market where we know he can draw in that region. You give your fighter some legs, give him some wings, let him spread out a little bit, and just fight in other regions. Plus, Tszyu-Thurman's already moving up. That would be kind of unfair. He got to move up. He has more inactivity. Plus, he would have to fight against Tim Tszyu in Australia. That's a bit much. So I think the game plan was to give Tszyu a couple feel-good fights, but then do it right here in America and bring him to Vegas. Everybody wants to fight in Vegas anyway. So I'm loving this fight. Let me know what you guys think. I know some people are going to hate, but I also said that if Crawford got Tim Tszyu fight, that I love it. Doesn't look like Crawford got it, so I'm not going to hate on Tszyu-Thurman for getting the fight. He's been with PBC longer. Tim Tszyu was down, he was down. Let's get it on.